But yeah, all right. Patch notes time. Let's do that. So let's bring them up here. All right, cool. So we've got 0412 here, codename Atomic. We got some cool features in here. One of which is a kind of pre-battle option selection kind of thing. So you can, and I'll pull this up in a second, but you can kind of vote on what battlefields you want, kind of different playlists, so to speak, for terrain objects. And also, if you're like labbing with somebody, you can vote on whether or not you want like turn timer stuff to go on. So basically what this does is it's opening the door for us for a whole crazy amount of options for people to do for like pre-battle stuff. So we wanted this to be kind of like the same thing that you would see in terms of like setting up, not like a custom match, but you know, having like fighting games, you can choose like your battlefield, essentially like your arena, so to speak, and you know, all those other things, all different kind of like turn timer options and stuff. We wanted to kind of mimic that. So this is kind of like us like testing the waters in terms of what we can do. So we just added a couple of like really basic stuff that's kind of already in the game, except for the battlefield type, which this is kind of a new thing. These kind of like battlefield playlists are new for us. So we'll kind of open the door to like more crazy kind of battlefields or really basic stuff. And for stuff like tournaments, we'll probably have like, all right, we're going to play on like this playlist or something like that. And so, you know, this allows us to make those like crazy layouts, but not have them as part of like a, you know, tournament viable like playlist kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's basically what we've got going on, and I'll bring that up in a second. There's a little bug here that we had with the poison status effect, which actually came up because we made a really crazy layout that was basically just like all poison everywhere on the battlefield, and we saw it with like stacking kind of weird because it's technically split into two different distinct status effects depending on if you're currently standing on the tile or if you've stepped off of it, and then it goes into that kind of a 2-round timer. So we noticed some like weird stacking that was going on there, so we just kind of fixed that. So hopefully that is fixed, that is implemented, and if you see it acting up again, just let us know. But yeah, let's go and bring up excuse me, let's bring up that character select kind of screen real quick. All right, so we're just gonna go into just a, let's just do a bot match here. There we go. And we should be seeing here we go. So we've got a few things going on. As you saw, the battle stage, train layout, and turn timer. Since we are playing a bot, the turn timer only has disabled here as options, because when you're playing against the AI, you don't need the turn timer. So, but as you click on these little things, it shows you on the right-hand side here, like who has voted on what. So basically what's going on here is if both players click on the same thing, they will agree with each other essentially, and it'll highlight this kind of green section right here, and it'll be like, all right, both of you have voted on this, so it's going to be this one. The reason why, as I'm clicking on this, it automatically goes to the other option is because I'm playing against the AI, and the AI always agrees with you. So whatever you want to do against the AI, that's what it'll vote as well. So when two people vote on, say, like one person votes on the graveyard, the other person votes on the forest, it'll default to the random thing. So it shows like if I vote on forest, it says you right here, and then if someone votes on the graveyard, there'll be like a little tag that says your opponent voted for this. But this kind of like green box here is going to be on the random, so it'll let you know, hey, you know, you guys didn't agree on this, so it's going to go to the random one. And it's the same thing with the terrain layout. So it'll go to default if you guys can't agree on, you know, what kind of layout you all want. So as you can see, there is an infinite number of infinite potential for expanding this to other things, such as like for like character banning and stuff like that, or going into specific battlefields in terms of these playlists, or like banning different kinds of terrains and be like, all right, I only want terrains that have these kind of features in it, like for the battlefield layouts, as opposed to like just allowing everything. So there's a lot of different things we could do here. And we're really looking forward to kind of like expanding those capabilities. But yeah, this is just like a little proof of concept of be like, yeah, we do have the capability to have these options. And yeah, that's what's here. Yep, laying the groundwork. Exactly. That's exactly what this is. So basically, if you guys want to see something in here, just let us know. We've got some things planned. So if you guys kind of mirror that, that'll make us feel better. But yeah, no, it's we're gonna expand this definitely as we go. But for now, this is kind of like our big thing that we wanted to get in here, just like the proof of concept of this like this technology, so to speak. So yeah, that's basically what this patch is all about. Just giving the options for kind of like being able to do battles as you want to do them, basically, as opposed to just like having to keep on like conceding matches over and over again to like get the combination of things that you want. So yeah, that's about it for the patch notes. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Happy to talk about what we've got in store and what we're working on. So there we go. All right. But yeah, today we're just gonna be chilling for the most part. Doing a couple battles with some people who are around, and that's about it, really. Nothing huge in terms of like big gameplay changes. So there's nothing really to change your game about at this point. Well, I mean, we have a character who is still relatively new, so there's still some stuff to explore with them. But other than that, that's kind of our update here. As always, we have a lot of stuff working on that we're working on in the background. So I want to say stay tuned. But it's probably going to be a little while before we can kind of share most of what's going on. Jason did post up the kind of like Ranger process GIF for their kind of final animations. So that's always really cool to see. And y'all should be seeing a little bit more of that kind of stuff relatively soon as well.
I did indeed, by the way.
Oh, hey, it's Jason. What's up?
How's it going?
It's going good. Still kind of recovering from bumps and scrapes and bruises and stuff like that from a lot of scrambling. But yeah, no, it's all good.
You put yourself through it, you know.
Oh no, it's a lot of fun.
Scars, right? It's all good.
Hopefully no scars at this point, but yeah, no, it was a really good time. I really like hiking and getting out there and all that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things where I realized like, oh yeah, I should probably get some like actual like hiking gear at some point if I'm starting to take this a little bit more seriously. Like I was out there and so there was a point where there was like a scenic overlook, but the road was closed because it was like because the road's not maintained anytime like in the late fall to winter, because it is about like I think it's about like a 10%, or excuse me, 10%, like a 10-degree grade, like pretty much like constantly up. Yeah. You're supposed to drive up, and it doesn't take very long. It takes like 5 minutes to drive up, but that road was closed, and it was the day that it was absolutely pouring. So we were already soaking wet, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just walk up it because it says you could walk up, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. So it took us about half an hour to walk up this just like constant like slope the entire time, and I'm in like full boots and all that kind of stuff. So we trudged all the way up. But as we were doing that, I'm just like, there's like nobody around, and it's just dense forest on either side. And I was like, man, what do we do if there's like an animal or something? Like, I don't have anything on me. Like, it's not like I can do anything, and neither of us have service. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe we should get some like something to help us with that at some point.
Did you encounter much wildlife?
No, that was the thing. We actually didn't like encounter anything for the most part because most of the stuff that we were on, like, there weren't like a ton of people, but like every 5 minutes or so, someone would pass going the other way. Except for on the day that it was actually absolutely pouring because everybody else who wasn't crazy was inside. So, well, because of, like, the day that it was pouring, we were just kind of like driving around. We're like, we don't really know what to do, so let's like scope out some areas to see where we want to go later. And we're just like, you know what? Let's just go because whatever. We've got boots and stuff. It'll be fine. Like, we've got mostly like water resistant things going on here. So we were passing by a trail. We were driving by it, and I saw a signpost that said like climbing information, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, I see a huge like cliff face in front of me that's just like of just a mountain. I'm like, all right, maybe people climb up this, and sure enough they do, because we got out and we had to like do some really tough scrambling to even get to the base of the mountain, to even get close to it. And I'm like, this is really cool. I don't ever want to climb this, but I'm just like looking up, and there's just like rain like pouring down from it. And after that is when we did that like half an hour walk, just like straight up at an angle pretty much. And when we got to the top, there were actual like signs at the top. They were like, hey, don't throw anything off this ledge because people climb. It was like, don't like kick rocks over the edge, or don't like, don't be a jerk, because people are actually climbing. Like, well, they weren't climbing then, but like, yeah, people do climb this. So like, oh man, that's so crazy.
Was there gear in there, like anchors and stuff, or was it all
I
climbing?
don't think, I'm not sure. I didn't see anything, to be honest. I don't know if we got into the area where people generally started at, because it was getting a little bit rough because there was a lot of like debris on the ground in terms of like foliage. Just like, I don't know if we were like out of season for that, but it was getting a little bit rough for us. So I'm like, all right, well, we're up at the cliff face, but I'm not exactly sure this is where people start climbing. So I don't know. I don't know too much about what was there, but I didn't really see too much in terms of like anchor points and stuff like that. So it was interesting. But there were signs for people, like, they were like, yep, this is where people come up. Don't don't go beyond this little fence thing because people need room to get over the edge. So like, oh geez.
Yeah, or you want to stand on the edge and have someone's hand like emerge from from the cliff
God,
edge and grab your ankle
yeah.
or something.
It would be crazy. Yeah. But yeah, we didn't do any climbing. I don't think much climbing is in our future in terms of like outdoor climbing, because it absolutely horrifies me. But yeah, especially people are just like, yeah, like I went climbing once, and yeah, my friend took me, and I'm just like, the first time I go like outdoor climbing, I would kind of want like, I don't know, a professional or like a guide or something to like make sure that my first time was okay, as opposed to just like, yeah, I went one time in college and I had a panic attack when I had to climb back down. I'm like, oh, that sounds real good. Like, I really want to do that now.
Yeah, but it's like some places you go are okay because they're really kind of well manicured and it's clearly like maintained and stuff. But if it's like there are a lot of places you can't put anchors in, right? You just need to use all like non-destructive equipment, and that terrifies me. Like the rigs people need. Because whenever you hear a story of somebody getting into a sticky situation and escaping, it's always like, oh, this person was stuck here, so I had to climb up and do this crazy knot and like transfer them over to this other line. And it's like, in theory, I know how to climb if everything goes well, but
Sure.
but when you hear about people recovering from when something doesn't go as it's supposed to, it's always some crazy knowledge
Yeah.
and instinct they need to have to like, like transfer people over to other lines and do all this stuff, which I
Yeah.
have no idea
Yeah, it's
how that
crazy.
works.
There was just like I don't know. I have a couple of like distinct fears with that, which is just like reaching into like a crevice and some like mountain spider comes out and like bites me or something. Like that's like my my like one of my fears is just like, oh yeah, there's stuff that lives on cliff faces and you're disturbing them probably. So like I go to like wedge in one of those things that kind of like expand into the crevice so you can like make an anchor out of it or whatever. I can't remember what those are called, but just like sticking your hands where they shouldn't be is kind of something. And like when you're in like a climbing gym or whatever, like stuff doesn't crumble. Stuff doesn't like there's no
Yeah,
chance of that.
yeah.
And like nothing's necessarily slippery. So it's just like, yeah, not being able to 100% trust like what you're grabbing onto is like horrifying to me. So I'm just like, that's fine. I'll leave the professionals to do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you need 2 or 3 anchor points in case one of them, like, comes out.
Yeah.
It's like, if one of them comes out, then 2 of them could go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's
Yeah.
man.
I
It's
remember
funny.
going climbing in France, and then we had kind of something like that where you'd put your hand in the rock and there would be something in there. There were lots of these little lizards. They're kind of harmless, like,
Oh, sure, yeah.
kind of cute almost, but if you're not expecting it and it runs over your hand,
They could get startled, yeah.
you're probably letting go. Yeah.
No, that's my instinct is to let go. So I was like, well, all right. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, no, it's yeah, I think I like hiking maybe more than outdoor climbing. Like especially since like once I got to some of the peaks, like my instinct is not to go anywhere closer than like 10 feet from the ledge. Like my body will not let me. Just like, no, I can
Yeah.
see plenty good right now. I don't need to like dangle my legs over the edge or get anywhere close to the edge because I don't know. I just can't. I can't do that. So,
I mean, I think that's a healthy instinct, dude.
oh, it is a healthy instinct except for like I don't know. I yeah, I've got some like weird other instincts that are just like, oh man, that looks really cool. Like, wouldn't it be great to just like be able to fly? It's like, no, we're gonna stay back from the edge, Andrew, because that sounds like a terrible thought right now. It's terrible, but yeah, I know
Yeah,
my
what do they
limits.
call that? That's like the call of the void or something?
I
There's a
don't know,
name.
but whatever it's called, I've got it, and it's not it's not ideal. I'm just very glad that I'm also afraid of heights, so it kind of like cancels themselves out until one day there's 2 wolves inside of you, and
Yeah.
one of them will eat you. Oh man, no, some fear is healthy. I'll say that much.
Absolutely.
Oh man. So yeah, it seems like we've got a bunch of people doing some stuff today, so we're just kind of
Yeah, a
chilling for
couple
the
of
most
people may
part.
be turning up in a bit. Maybe you and I can kick
Yeah,
things off.
let's go for it.
Okay.
This is not a hidden information game for the most part, so it's I have no qualms about playing this on stream with you. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like messing around with character layouts and stuff like that, so I'm not really gonna be doing anything crazy. I'll put a link in there into the Fight Club channel.
Sure.
Why not? It's not a tournament. This is fine. All right, we're in.
You can show off how the fancy new option screen
Let's do it. All right, I want to be in the forest. And oh no, Jason also wants to be in the forest. So hey, it looks like we're gonna be in the forest. There we go. See, and now we can see how this changes a little bit here. It goes over to the random when two of us are voting differently.
It's basically always the first option is always the default right now. So
yeah,
if there's any disagreement, it just picks the first one, which is either generally going to be random or just whatever makes sense as the default. And then definitely, I mean, a really easy thing for us to do is add more terrain layouts. So people have ideas for those. We've got a lot of stuff in this default kind of playlist. I guess we can call these playlists.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
So
I'm just like changing my my screen capture for some reason. I don't know why. Everything is locked, but sometimes it doesn't behave. We're good now.
Yep. So with the plain old Battlefield, I mean, some people that's going to be useful for them to test things out, or they just like the old school approach.
Yeah.
And then we have some. Should we just try one of these insane?
Yeah, I just want to do that. I just want to mess around a little bit.
Then there's turn timer options. Like I know when we're playtesting, when the devs are playtesting, sometimes it's nice for us to turn the turn timer off because we're talking about stuff. Probably the same for people labbing. And even in the context of a tournament, there have been some cases where people have timed out because their Wi-Fi's dropped or something. So
yes,
if you're playing against somebody you actually know, then he's not going to be scummy and make you concede by waiting, like filibuster you, I suppose.
Sure, yeah.
Then disabling the turn timer is pretty reasonable. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh boy, we got some poison here.
Just a little bit.
All right, what do we got
here? I'm picking Bolt. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm trying to think now what would actually work on this kind of field.
So I feel like I'm just gonna talk strategy because whatever.
Yeah,
I've
never even played on this battlefield. I just kind of.
So like I think there's like an eventuality that just about everyone's gonna get poisoned here.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff that makes sense to me is that the game is gonna go quicker. So characters that have a like primarily pretty effective like non-focus abilities are probably ideal for this.
Mm-hmm. And the damage is tied to your turns, right? Rather than...
Yeah, so maybe slower characters are better in this circumstance. So I'm not 100% sure like which characters would be better for this. Like I immediately think of something like the Berserker, which has like pretty damaging effects, but they're relatively slow as well. That's like one of the characters that I think about.
So we need to get you a custom in-game avatar, Andrew.
I did. Yeah, this is true. This is true. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
We'll base it on you right now with the microphone.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I also picked the Berserker, and I then went with the Chemist. Like, I'm thinking if I can try and get a Healy thing going and try and keep the Chemist in the middle tile, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. What other characters would be okay for this? Fast characters are bad, so I'm trying to figure out something. Who's slow here? You're slow. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it out anyway. All right, I'm ready to go.
go.
All right.
Okay, you've gone for somebody with a guard, so I haven't really got much going on defensively.
Yeah, I kind of did. So the reason why I did guard is because I took totem. Because I wanted to, because I knew you were picking the berserker, so I wanted to pick someone who would be able to try to knock out the berserker pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that you have lined up, so I cannot place my damaging totem where I want it. so I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do here. Boy. Well, I gotta place one somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to counter that. My thoughts of lining up was just try and get those passive defense boosts and keep everyone in range of the chemist for healing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I gotta do a totem at some point, so yeah, let's just put that there. And then we will honestly, all right. Honestly, I probably should have chosen someone who could pull, so I could have tried to pull out that chemist maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
To do that, but what are you gonna do? Oh, you got poison though.
Oh crap!
Yep. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it. I got that berserker out of there. What's it gonna be? Where are you gonna move? All right, that's fine. We'll stay there. All right, what we got? I feel like I want to like heal somebody, but sure.
Oh,
let's
right.
just try to knock this guy out.
Some quite little healing options there, haven't you?
Ugh, I've got some, but oh man, like a little shock damage there, unfortunately. But what am I gonna do? Oh, come on. All right, we're just gonna get as much tunnel vision action as possible here. There we go. We got there.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm screwed.
Oh, man. All right, let's just stay where we are. All right. All right, Berserker, bring it home. What do you want to do here? Deal more damage to you, so let's do that. Ah, it's so much damage though he's taking. It's worth it. It's still, well, I don't know if it's worth it anymore. Taking 9 damage. I feel like it's still worth it. Also, I love this sneaky pumpkin way back in there. It's very good.
Yeah, you can kind of see it more when the camera moves in.
Yeah. Oh man.
Couldn't resist doing that.
What do you want to do here? I mean, I think this is the right answer. All right.
Yeah, like you've had a lot more turns than me, but it really is taking a toll on your health there.
Yeah, eventually everyone just kind of goes down, gets knocked out very slowly. So interesting events going on right now. Sorry. It seems that my dad has locked himself out of his car in a state park about an hour away. So fun stuff.
Are you gonna need to go on a rescue mission?
I don't know. He's trying to get into contact with someone else right now, but he's not having much luck. So we're trying to figure out what we want to do here. Oh man. All right, Berserker, how much you got left on you? Feel like he's gonna take a lot of damage if he does the trade blows here. Man. Just do this. This is fine. Just move a little bit. And then we'll clean up. Still, like, really getting my characters down to low health at this point, so it's kind of disturbing, I think. Ah, jeez. It's really crazy, actually. To stay alive. He just needs to stay alive for a little while longer. Just, you know, stay there. You guys are doing great.
Oh, he's got that defense boost, hasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, crap. Can't do that. Let's get a little bit more in there. Extra damages. Come on. He's gonna go anyway, so. Oh, jeez. I don't know, Jason. This is kind of rough. I think I can eke this one out, but just because you're going to take critical damage on your next turn. I don't know if there's a way for you to deal additional damage to multiple characters at this point.
Yeah, if you had... I didn't manage to shock your
yeah.
your dude there.
Yeah, I'm seeing some fatigue there. Poison chalked there. Yeah, I think it's just about enough to get by. So, all right, cool.
Oof, that was kind of fun still.
Yeah, that was good. So Jason, I'm gonna leave you to vamp for a second.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.